But it does for the Pacers. That they gotta start finding ways to lock down on defense and minimize their opponent's possessions because they don't have that third option. They need to be able to slow the game down a little bit more, and I know they're capable of doing that. So 124 to 112, the Mavs won that game. Porzingis had 27, 13, and 4. It was a good night. It was a good night for him. Let's go to Celtics 76ers. Kemba returned. He helped pick up the tempo. He is making early threes for the Celtics, but they were still shorthanded. No Tatum, but they're still really deep and really talented without him. This is the best team in the East right now, and the best player in the East right now. On nights when he wants to be, you could say KD, Harden, or Kyrie, but when he wants to be, he's right up there with them. He's the top of my MVP list. We'll get there later, but 42, 10, and 2 from him last night, and he was just taking the game over. He was just doing anything he wanted to. It was a back and forth game for most of the game, and like I said, because the Celtics are so well coached, they're so deep. They have tough guys. They're never gonna just back down, and they were with the 76ers through 3 quarters. They were there. They were in the game. But first of all, fouls killed the Celtics. The 76ers are a pretty good shooting team. They went to the line 45 times and they shot 80% from the line. That'll hurt you. Just so many free points for the 76ers. And then looking at turnover 16 and 9 in the second half, that's not going to work either. But all that aside, they were in the game, they were playing well. But for me, the Celtics need a full healthy roster if they want to compete in the East. If they have that, they can compete. I'll give them a fighter's chance against any team in the East if they have a full healthy roster, because they're keeping up last night. They lose by 8. But if you look in the fourth quarter, they lost the quarter 31-17, and who's their closer? It's Jason Tatum. It's not even a question. Brown usually is big in the fourth as well, but when you have 10 or 12 from Brown and then you have 12 or 14, 12 or 15 from Tatum, that's a lot different feeling than just having 10 from Brown. So Tatum is their piece, their main guy. Their main scorer. He's the heartbeat. He makes big shots when he needs to, and throughout the game he makes big shots and makes big plays. So I think he would have impacted this game. I do think the Celtics would have won if they had him, but you only play who's there. So they didn't have him last night, and the 76ers end up getting a good win, 117 to 109. It was a good win for the Sixers. But if I'm the Celtics, I'm not discouraged from it. You played the best team in the East really well for 3 quarters, and then in the fourth, you just got overwhelmed and the fouls came back to haunt you. So not a bad game. Let's go Miami Raptors. Kendrick Nunn, 28, 8 and 5. He was huge. Off the bench for Miami. They were out of Leonard, Butler, Harkless, and Hero, and for them to win against the Raptors. Now I know the Raptors aren't that good of a team this year, at least that's what their record says. But they still are a good defensive team, and they still have that championship pedigree and a championship coach. So I don't take it lightly. These games are made for you to continue to build your team up. And get that continuity between your players that maybe you don't see the floor so often, like a Kendrick Nunn, and he took full advantage of it last night, smacking threes. He was walking up, hitting threes. It was just effortless. It looked. They had a lot of turnovers. The Raptors did, and that was really based on Miami's defense because they were playing very good defense, moving together as a unit. and they were hitting threes early. You know, they kept the lead most of the game, shot 45% from three, and almost 50% from the field. And when you have a hot shooting night and you're playing defense, you know, even without your main guys, you can still get a win, and they saw that last night. They need to take care of the ball a little bit more, though. Looking forward, you know, this was the Raptors, so you know, playing against a better team, a more offensively skilled team, those turnovers might cost you a little bit more. But they took advantage of the inside early. They shot well, and they finished the game off right. And Kendrick Nunn had a big night, 28, 8 and 5. You know, and he's gonna be a big guy for them. I think he can play big minutes and play a crucial role for them moving forward in the playoffs. So, you know, good win for the Miami Heat. Orlando Timberwolves, 97-96. Vucevic was the player of the game, 28, 8 and 5, 8 and 4. He was unstoppable last night. They couldn't do much with him. No Cat. You know, it's really unfortunate what's going on in the world right now. You know, it's not a bias. It's not a bias disease. You know, and misery loves company. You know, it's really a sad moment in our history, but you know that's where we are, and we gotta just adapt. But you know, Timberwolves are taking a big hit this year without their main guy, Cat. They're doing everything they can, but they're just underpowered. Timberwolves in the second quarter, they took the game over from the Magic. They started to feel themselves a little bit, shooting well. They won the quarter 30-10, but all night long, like I said, Vucevic was just a problem. When you don't have that big guy down there, other bigs notice that, they smell the blood and they take advantage. Way too many turnovers for the Timberwolves. They had a 20-point lead at once, and you can't allow a team to chop down at that. You got to be able to make stops and convert on the offensive side, and they just weren't last night. Cole Anthony's been big for the Magic. He ended up hitting the game winner, a walk-off three. I never had doubts about his game, but I just do think that Markelle makes them even better than they are now. They're a pretty decent team. They have a chance to make the playoffs or the play-in game at least, but you know, Fultz would have definitely helped to lead them maybe a little bit further than they will this year until he comes back. But they're playing really well. He stepped right into that role, and he's handling it pretty well. And then for the bench of the Magic, they gotta give me more. 14 points off the bench? That's not gonna work. Not against a good team. It's not. You're not gonna get it done. They won the game, but you know, we're looking at takeaway points, and that takeaway point is the bench has to be better. And then also Edwards, you know, he's not even in the rookie of the year race right now for me. Melo is leading it. Wiseman's in there. I think it's Huntington, number 0, on the Kings. Edwards is not there. He needs to step up, especially without that centerpiece guy. You know, it's just time right now just to play basketball. Don't even worry about records. Just play basketball. So Orlando takes that win. Let's go Detroit Hawks. This was a pretty interesting game too. It was a back and forth for a while. You know, Pistons showed their hand. Hawks came back. Excuse me. Hawks came back and showed their hand. No Cam Reddish, no Hunter for the Hawks. And no help off the bench for the Hawks. They literally had maybe 0 points off the bench. This is awful. They had 4 points off the bench. I mean, I just don't know what you do with that. But the Hawks are one of those teams that, if their starting group gets hot, then they just get hot, and it's hard to put them out. And last night was a little bit of that. That they're a streaky team. Their second quarter they started to miss a little bit, but they came back strong in the second half. To that kind of even the game out. They just, I'm not sure I've ever seen them dominate the board the way they did last night. It was just disgusting the way that they dominated the board. Detroit, I thought, would have a better chance securing rebounds, but they didn't. They had 26 points from the free throw line. The Hawks did, so it showed that they were being aggressive, trying to get to the line, trying to get easy buckets, and they won the rebound battle 73-50, and they had 23 offensive rebounds. So that just told me they were getting second opportunities all night. And when you let a team like that get second opportunities at the basket, they're gonna eventually start putting them in and feeling the rhythm and getting hot, and that's what they did last night. The Detroit played good enough to win this game. Jeremy Grant, 32, 6 and 5, most improved player of the year. He's continuing to prove that he was right to go on his own. I mean, his team success is not there yet, but his personal success is definitely